A dark green train with a gold stripe slowly crosses a guarded border bridge. Soldiers stand watch, villages are cleared, and silence follows its passage. Inside, the air smells of leather and polished wood. Behind thick armored walls, phones buzz, maps glow, and one man, the leader of North Korea, reviews his plans. This is not just transport. This is a fortress on rails. Today, we're stepping inside Kim Jong-un's armored train. Part palace, part war room, and part symbol of absolute control. Most world leaders rely on planes, fast, sleek, and efficient. But Kim Jong-un prefers the rumble of steel wheels. Why? 3 reasons: security, control, and tradition. A plane can be tracked, sabotaged, or intercepted. A luxury armored train, however, moves slowly but securely, carrying everything from bodyguards to medical teams, communications staff, and even armored vehicles. It becomes a sealed bubble where Kim controls every moment of his journey. And above all, trains are a Kim family tradition, used by his grandfather Kim Il-sung, his father Kim Jong-il, and now by him. The Kim family legacy of trains. Kim Il-sung, North Korea's founding leader, famously traveled across the Soviet Union and China by train. These early journeys were partly practical. North Korea didn't have reliable long-range aircraft, but they soon became symbolic. His son, Kim Jong-il, took the tradition to an extreme. Terrified of flying, he reportedly never traveled by plane. Instead, he built a fleet of armored trains that took him everywhere, from Moscow to Beijing. When Kim Jong-un inherited power in 2011, he continued the legacy. Within years, the world saw images of him crossing into China, into Russia, and all the way to Vietnam. The green and gold train became his family's trademark, an icon of North Korea's carefully staged diplomacy. The hardware. What's inside the train? So what makes this train different? Rent from any other? To start, it isn't one train but multiple armored units, each with 10 to 20 carriages. The walls and floors are reinforced steel. The windows are bulletproof. Heavy armor makes it extremely slow, about 60 kilometers an hour, far slower than modern passenger trains. But the trade-off is security. Inside, glimpses from state photos and defector reports paint a picture. A long conference car with a polished wood table, walls lined with telephones, TVs, and satellite communications. Another car holds bedrooms with private bathrooms. There's a reception lounge for guests, a dining car with a full galley, and space for the leader's entourage. A particularly striking feature is that some trains can carry armored limousines inside a carriage. At the 2023 Russia trip, footage confirmed a ramp lowering so that Kim's Mercedes Maybach could roll directly out of the train, ready for his motorcade. Locomotives themselves change depending on the territory. Chinese or Russian engines are used abroad, pulling North Korea's heavy armored carriages across foreign tracks. Every technical detail, comms gear, reinforced interiors, transport capacity, makes this train closer to Air Force One than a passenger coach. It's a palace, a command center, and a bunker all at once. The security protocol: 3 trains, 1 leader. Perhaps the most secretive and fascinating part is security. Kim's travel isn't just 1 train, it's 3. First comes a scout train, running ahead to check the tracks, sweep for explosives, and secure the route. Then comes the principal train, carrying Kim and his inner circle. Behind that is a support train, packed with additional guards, logistics staff, and sometimes anti-aircraft weaponry. Every station along the route is cleared before arrival. Electricity in nearby areas is often cut off. Locals are banned from approaching. The speed is intentionally slow, not for weakness, but because the armored weight demands it, and because moving carefully allows constant coordination between the 3 trains. In some cases, reports suggest aerial reconnaissance may even be used to monitor the path. This 3-train system shows the philosophy: absolute control. Nothing is left to chance. Every bolt of track is inspected, every crossing locked down. For a leader who rules through secrecy and caution, the method makes perfect sense. Luxury and optics. Despite its armored shell, the train is also a stage. Inside, images show leather seating, wood-paneled walls, and long conference tables. Curtains are drawn to hide the outside world, but polished interiors suggest wealth and comfort. Under Kim Jong-il, the luxury was legendary: lobster, fine wines, and French cognac. Kim Jong-un has been more restrained in what state media shows, but diplomats who have traveled with him confirm that high-end food and drink are still part of the experience. The train doubles as a diplomatic backdrop. When Kim met China's Xi Jinping, photos showed them seated across a polished table inside the carriage. When he traveled to Vietnam in 2019, international cameras filmed him stepping out onto the red carpet from his armored train, a symbol of spectacle and power. This isn't just transport, it's propaganda. The green and gold livery has become a recognizable image of North Korea's diplomacy, like a mobile stage set carefully designed to project strength, tradition, and continuity. Recent journeys. The world has seen the train resurface at key moments. In 2018 and 2019, Kim took it to China multiple times, sometimes meeting Xi Jinping late into the night. The most dramatic trip was to Vietnam in February 2019, where he rode nearly 60 hours to Hanoi for his second summit with US President Donald Trump. Cameras captured his arrival at Dong Dong Station, his armored Mercedes rolling from the train minutes later. In September 2023, he used the train again, this time to Russia's Far East. Images confers the limo loading carriage, the armored green exterior, and the heavy security presence as he visited Vladivostok and the Vostochny Cosmodrome. Most recently, in 2025, the train was spotted heading into Beijing for the World War II commemoration parade, where leaders from Russia and China gathered. This trip reminded the world that, even in an age of private jets and supersonic aircraft, one of the most closely watched leaders still relies on a slow-moving, armored train. Cost and secrecy: what we can and can't know. How much does all this cost? The honest answer: no one outside North Korea knows. The country releases no budgets, no figures, no official specs. What we do know is that armored train cars are complex to build. Multiple train sets exist, each carrying specialized interiors, comms gear, and luxury fittings. Add in the manpower, hundreds of guards, technicians, and support staff for each trip, plus the logistics of fuel and track control, and the costs are certainly immense. But to speculate on exact figures would be misleading. The important point is that these trains represent a massive investment of resources into both security and image. For a nation struggling with economic hardship, the fact that such an advanced and secretive system exists at all shows how highly the leadership values its symbolic power. Takeaways: what the train really means. When you step back, the armored green train isn't really about transport, it's about power. The train trades speed for security, moving slowly but under total control. It functions as a mobile command center with phones, satellite gear, and meeting spaces allowing the regime to operate even while in motion. It serves as a symbol of continuity. The Kim dynasty has traveled this way for 3 generations, and it embodies secrecy. We know some details, but much remains hidden behind curtains, armor, and propaganda. The train is more than a vehicle. It's a message. North Korea's leadership moves on its own terms, with its own traditions, in a style that blurs the line between luxury, fear, and spectacle. And in 2025, with the world watching new trips to China and beyond, this rolling fortress once again commands attention. Every journey Kim Jong-un takes by train is more than travel, it's theater. Behind armored windows and guarded tracks, the green and gold train is a message to the world that North Korea's leader chooses control over speed, secrecy over transparency, and symbolism over convention. It is at once a palace, a war room, and a moving piece of propaganda. Few vehicles on Earth capture as much mystery and fascination as this rolling fortress. As we've seen, it carries not just a leader, but a legacy, linking 3 generations of the Kim family and reminding us that power often hides in plain sight, sometimes moving only 60 kilometers an hour. And while much about this train remains unknown, what is certain is its importance as a tool of diplomacy, security, and spectacle. If you found this breakdown intriguing, subscribe for more deep dives into the secret technologies, vehicles, and strategies that shape global power. From presidential planes to armored convoys, we reveal how leaders move, protect, and project influence. Don't miss the next story, because sometimes the most ordinary machines carry the most extraordinary secrets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.